All right, again, Michele Rahal, Rob D'Amico, RaceDay Nation. We're back at it after a decade-long hiatus, if you will. You know, life just gets in the way. We were talking about how far ahead of time we were with putting all the things we were doing back then
Yeah,
together. You mentioned it, 400 plus radio stations. We were on, I think, 177 countries with the Armed Forces
we
Network.
were.
We had, we did live broadcasts all over the place, whether it was the Pentagon. Remember, we did that,
We
which was a
did.
lot of
That was
fun.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites, going up there. I think it was 3 years after 9/11, and we
Was it
got to
that
go there.
long?
Yeah, it might have been two or three, but they wouldn't let anybody near the place for a while there. And then we were
Yeah.
asked to come out and do a show, and we said absolutely, we'd be honored to. Now here we are back at it again. Right now, it's a pre-recorded show. We will be doing this live from 8 to 10 Eastern time. We'll be live, and we'll have what we have is a chat. So if you're on Facebook Live or if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to type in your comments, and we can literally pull them up on the screen. You can ask your questions, get interactive with the show. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at RaceDay Nation. So, please do that as we get kicked off here again and back in it. We'll create a nice little email. And starting Monday, I'm also going to be doing a thing called the Motorsports Drop, which has been in play for a couple of years, but the guy that was doing it, he works with iRacing. So he's been pretty busy with everything going on there. The pandemic, obviously, iRacing took off during the pandemic because, there
Sure.
wasn't anything at the tracks. So he's been pretty busy. So I'm going to take over doing the Motorsports Drop, which is about a minute and a half a day of just the latest news, rumors, stuff like that you can get in the latest updates. But that'll start, and it'll all be at RaceDay Nation. You can see all the different feeds. We actually have, I think, up there 7 different shows: RaceDay Nation, the Motorsports Drop, Down and Dirty with Jim Beaver, the iRacing download or downshift. We also have the Scene Vault, Racers Now and Then, and I think there's one more, and I'll pull it up here in a little bit so I can remember it. But that'll all be on RaceDayNation.com. So we appreciate it if you stop by and give us a follow. And Michele, what is your Instagram? I see it there at the bottom, and people can follow you as well.
Yeah, it's at Michele Rahal 9. Where the hell the 9 came from, I'll never know. They're
Was it a
not.
number, like a car
Yeah,
number?
I don't know. For some reason, it popped that way, but there's only one other Michele Rahal, and he's a European chess champion out of Spain.
Is he
So
really?
yeah, I mean, go figure. I grew up in the United States with the name Michelle and find myself laughing, sometimes at other people's names. And then I go, the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Your name is Michelle in a world that we're not in Europe. But it was,
Yeah.
when I raced cars, it was obviously a cool name. But after that, before and after that, it was hell. Let's just put it that way. I fought
Oh,
my
I'm
way.
sure.
I've been in more fights than Joe Lewis. I was going through high school.
It
It was
looks
a
it.
trip. Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
I'm pushing 70 years old, dude.
See, that's another thing, man. I'm over 50 now. Back in the day, I felt like a young chicken, and now I know you're thinking,
To me, you are a
young buck.
young chicken. Good Lord. You hit 60, and every morning you better check everything in the shower. Make sure nothing fell off.
Yeah, this working. Oh, wait a minute. Checklist. Something's missing. All right. Let's I want to go back a little bit. We'll talk about some NASCAR here real quick about the duels. The duel races happened, and you had Brad Keselowski win duel number 1, which is cool for Brad because Brad has moved over. We'll get into that here in a second with Roush Fenway Racing, which is now Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. He's there as a team owner, which I thought was pretty cool. His old teammate, Austin Cindric, who's in his number 2 ride, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Kurt Busch, and Ross Chastain round out your top 10 there in the first duel. And Michele, with Brad moving over there, they actually had a picture of Roush. And Roush, he's getting up there. I was very surprised. Yeah, he looked, little frail, but he's still coming to the races. He loves, this is his life. This is his passion. Cars in general, working on those motors, performance, things like that. That's what his life was all about.
I was in a meeting with at Livonia, Michigan, at the factory with their marketing team, and there were 1,000 of the Mustangs that they were making into the showroom cars that you would buy the Roush car, and it was stunning. I mean, to say the least, it was stunning. And every time that I met Jack, I met him once in one of the trailers along with Jim Hunter from
Yeah.
NASCAR. God rest his soul. He was
Yeah.
a beautiful man, wonderful man. And Roush was always very friendly,
Yeah.
very kind, very friendly. Enjoyed his company immensely.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
we all get old. I mean, look at me. Mm,
Look at me.
it's scary. No,
It
you're
is.
you're doing all right. It's when you
Well,
go over 55 that you're going to be you're going
I
to be
have
going,
put on
holy
about 20.
moly.
Yeah. I put on about 20 pounds. I'm about 20 pounds overweight, so I need
You
to
look
work on
fine.
some things. I appreciate that you hitting on me on the show, but
Yeah, man.
all right, let's go to duel number two. Duel number two, we had Chris Buescher. So Jack Roush Kislowski, or I'm sorry, Roush Fenway Kislowski Racing got duel one and two as their wins. Michael McDowell was second. Harrison Burton as a rookie was third. Kyle Busch fourth. Christopher Bell, Martin Truex Jr., Bubba Wallace in that number 23 with Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin as the owners. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., or what we like to call him on the show, a decade ago, Ricky Stinkhouse. That's a name he probably wishes he could get rid of. Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick round out your top 10 in duel number two. That was we always had fun with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I remember having
He's got a
Ricky
sense of humor.
yeah.
I mean, after all, Danica Patrick was his girlfriend.
Yeah,
He's got to have a sense of
you
humor.
got to joke about that one.
No,
All right.
it was great. And then in the ultimate lineup, there, we know what Kyle Larson can do. Kyle Larson could probably have gone F1. I mean, he's a wheel man. He really
Yeah.
is. And it's one of those things where you think, okay, who might be the odds on favorite? Well, that's Denny Hamlin. At least the odds makers are all saying Hamlin because he's won 4 of these. If I'm not mistaken, always correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it's 4 Daytona 500s. He's won, so he's the odds on favorite. That means absolutely nothing going into this race, given that we've got a brand new car, a brand new system of tire changes, adjustments. These guys are really going to be struggling because this race is going to beat them up. The cars again are so much stiffer, but anybody, even beyond row 10, could actually take this race. If last night and seeing the Xfinity cars stack three abreast and 10 deep at least, it was amazing. I mean, anybody can win this one, but you got to give the people who are most likely, and that would have to be odds on favorite Hamlin, or I mean, if Kyle Larson's got anything to say about it, he's gonna try his best to win it. But it always matter as to who's where on the last 5 laps. I mean, it really does.
Yeah. So we'll go over the lineup here in a second, but you made a great point about anybody, and I mean anybody in this race, even
Yeah.
the guys like a Jacques Villeneuve thinks he has the ability.
Yeah.
If you get to the end, you have the same exact odds as somebody else in the front there to get the job done. That's what's cool about this race. Now, what makes that a bad part about the race is that during the first, 2/3 of this race, you're not going to see much action. They're going to line up.
No.
They're going to play it safe.
No.
They're going to they'll get in a line, which I can't stand, but that's part of what this restrictor plate, or I should say, super speedway racing does to these
Particularly
guys.
with these new cars,
Yeah.
because we really don't know that 100 laps in exactly what you've got. We don't know how the cars are going to evolve throughout the race. They don't really know. Practice is one thing. When you fire off on a race, everybody's going full bore. But yeah, I think they're probably going to do the conga line for a while so that everybody figures out what are my aerodynamics, what needs to be changed on the next pit stop, what line do I need to take, what's going to get me to the front in the last 5 laps, all of those things. So strategy is going to be, I think, super important today.
Yeah, I'm with you. So let's look at the lineup as they line up today for the Daytona 500, the 64th running of the Daytona 500. You had Kyle Larson on the front or on the pole and on the front row for a record. I think it's 5 times Alex Bowman. And they got a new nickname for him, which was cool. I think it's Alex Front Row Bowman or Front I forget the name, but it has to do with being on the front row like 5 times. He was pretty impressive. Brad Keselowski is third. Chris Buescher, fourth. Rookie Austin Cindric in that number 2 car is fifth. Michael McDowell, last year's winner. Ryan Blaney, seventh. Harrison Burton, this is pretty cool. Rookie moves up, takes the ride at the 21 and is the rookie. Running for Rookie of the Year, and I have a feeling this is the guy, either him or Austin Cindric, the 2 guys I just mentioned. Those are probably going to be your basic battle there for the rookie. Chase Briscoe and Kyle Busch round out the top 10. I can go to 11th through 20th. You have Chase Elliott, and I don't know, Michelle, you want to talk about some of these guys: Christopher Bell, Eric Jones, Martin Truex Jr., Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Kurt Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ross Chastain, and Joey Logano.
Well, we were just talking about
top 10 or
we were
top
just
20.
talking about anybody could win. Logano's
Yeah.
sitting in 20th place. No,
Yeah.
you can't rule him out.
Oh,
I mean,
hell no.
these guys know how to they know how to play that line, but they also know that you've got to be in a certain spot on lap 20 or lap 40 and then lap 20. And as you move up, I mean, on that last pit stop, that's the run for the money. Who got the car right? Who can break out and get around somebody and actually pass them on speed? And that's going to be that's the tail of the tape. But it's also, I think, I think the experience today is going to win out. I think the experience is going to win out. That's my prediction. I could be totally wrong.
Well,
Well,
that's like,
it's a restrictor plate race. I mean, you know.
so these guys go into a race like this, a super speedway race, and say, all right, I got a chance. I just got to be there at the end. And sometimes you're taken out by a big crash, the big one.
Oh
We've
yeah,
seen it happen where
it's
the
gonna
good
happen
cars.
today.
Well, the Xfinity race yesterday, the leader for most of the end of the race gets taken out. He has a problem of pits. He gets put in the back, working his way up through, and he's coming through, and he's doing a great job. And he ends up getting caught up in a wreck. So the favorite out of the race there. Here, let's continue our starting lineup for the Daytona 500 before we take a break here. Daniel Suarez is 21st. Kevin Harvick, 22nd. That's a guy you got to watch out for starting towards the middle there. William Byron, Corey LaJoie, Justin Haley, Ty Dillon, Landon Castle, Greg Biffle back in the race. The Biff is back, baby. You love that story. Todd Gilliland and Denny Hamlin round out your top 30. 31 is Cole Custer, Cody Ware, Daniel Hemrick. You have David Reagan, Kaz Grala, Austin Dillon. Man, he's starting way in the back, and he's a guy that can absolutely win this race hands down. BJ McLeod, Eric Almirola, another guy starting in the back, has a great opportunity. Noah Gragson and Jacques Villeneuve round out your top 40 in the starting lineup for today's Daytona 500. So pretty good stuff. I do expect a good race. The new car, I will say a lot of people are going to keep it clean as well because they do not have the parts and pieces or the backup cars, to get these cars where they need to be for the next couple of weeks.
Supply chain issues.
Oh, it's a major issue. We all know that.
It is with F1 as well, and with IndyCar. They wanted to test their new hybrid formula, couldn't do it, so that's pushed off till April because of supply chain issues. It'll get done. It's racing. They'll find a way.
So do you want to take a break here? And when we come back, we'll talk about the new F1 cars because I know you want to go a little bit more in depth. We have pictures of the new Ferrari, the Mercedes, the Red Bull. I think a few other teams came out. The Alpha Tauri came out with their car. I think McLaren came out with their car as well, correct? Yeah. So we have I think that's everybody has their car out. Williams did it. I'm trying to think who else, but
Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo. Yep. So everybody has come out with the, and we'll go over the F1 schedule, all that stuff. So I want you to stick around. Right now, we're going to hear from our sponsors. It's just 30 seconds. We'll be back right after this. It's RaceDay Nation.
A place where fire and flavor are celebrated, where grilling traditions and new techniques are perfected. Here in Big Green Egg Country, you can grill it, roast it, smoke it, or bake it. It's the most versatile grill you'll ever own. Simple to light, easy to use, comes with a free lifetime warranty. Have it delivered to your door by a certified dealer in your community and start enjoying the ultimate cooking experience. Shop online for home delivery at biggreenegg.com. That's biggreenegg.com.